Good morning, everyone. Have a great show for you today. Welcome to the On Time, On Target, a morning brief where we invest with fighter pilot precision every day. Well, the DoorDash IPO is here. I've already seen questions on it in the chat this morning. So that's going to be the topic of the day is not only should you participate in the DoorDash IPO, should you buy the shares on the secondary market once they start trading? It's midday sometime today, or do you go with any of the competitors that are out there? So we're really going to peel back that space and get smart on that today to see how you want to play it. If you are catching us on a replay, please subscribe to make sure you get notifications on a daily basis. If you want to join us live, we've got a chat window and a Q&A window off to the side where you can ask your questions real time. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, welcome back again. Make sure you have your call sign put into the chat window as well as all attendees selected as well so everybody can hear you. As far as the disclaimer, so financial education presentations, you have to do your own due diligence before you act on anything that you hear in this presentation. Full disclaimer information is available at ototnow.com. All right, welcome to today, Wednesday, December 9th. We're mission objectives for today: grow our money, protect our money, and live off our money. Today's specific topic is, should we be investing in the DoorDash IPO? Obviously, there's a whole process there, so we'll kind of talk about the process a little bit, but really we'll focus in on the thesis of home food delivery. Is it a smart place for your money now? Is it a smart place for your money in the next 18 months or decade? That sort of thing. So we'll peel all that back today and really get into it. Next, for our question of the day, a couple of folks have asked these lately, is what are penny stocks and should you invest in them? I'll kind of get in the definition of what it is. And then tomorrow, I plan on running a 5 stocks under $5 presentation tomorrow. So we can kind of get into a few of the names that are out there that are kind of more popular that are still at a very small price point. And again, that can be attractive, especially to the younger folks that are in the room. If you're on Robinhood or however you're doing your trading, picking up 1,000 shares of something can seem cool, even though there's obviously a lot more risk. So that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow. For our flow today, it's going to be long, short, open, short, long. We're going to take a look at the market review, bouncing off all-time highs again. So, a market just keeps going higher. We'll talk about the headlines today that are out there. And then we will talk about, we'll get into the specific names you see there. That's Grubhub, Waiter, HelloFresh, DoorDash, which is the IPO today. Uber, which obviously has the Uber Eats section. And then if you're looking to get an ETF that covers all of this, you would simply go with online, ONLN, which is retail, but it also covers all of these as far as food delivery as well. So not a bad way to play it. We'll get into short-term execution. Our trade worked against us yesterday, so I've got some trades today. Those are in the chat room right now. I'll pop those in here again right now. There you go. So 3 longs and 3 shorts that we're going to be taking a look at once we get to that portion of the show. For contingencies, if you have any issues out there, contact me at steve@ototnow.com. We'll get those resolved. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the market overall. Kind of zoom out. There's the display will be on for trading. Looking overall, this is the S&P 500. Again, this is basically a 9-month chart, if you will. Here's the March lows that were way down here. Screen back higher, kind of went into the congestion period prior to the election. And it's pretty, if you look at those stair steps, we've been kind of stair stepping up from 350 to 370. So don't be surprised when we have a big move down. There will be a selling day where selling is what all the cool kids are doing. And I'd imagine that'll take a big hit to the market. But you know what? Even if we sell off 1% or 2, realistically, we're not even that is not relevant in the big game. So just don't be freaked out if you happen to see that. When you zoom in on the last 5 days, again, these blue bars are the individual days. So this is this week, Monday here, Tuesday here, basically flat across the board. So that's a Workhorse. Never mind, I have the wrong ticker in there. I was like, how's that not a new high? Basically flat across the board for last Friday and Monday. And then yesterday was screaming up to new highs. And then even better than that after hours. So sold off a little bit, but still the momentum is going higher in the SPY. So that's what we'll take a look at when it comes time to get into our trades. And as a teaser, Sorrento will be my number one trade for long. They have a new FDA approval on their drug. VLDR will be a long. They have an agreement that they're into. And then FireEye, obviously, cybersecurity firm got hacked this morning. So that is kind of A, funny, and B, not a good place to have your money into the cybersecurity firm that gets hacked. So that's our short. It's already down 10%. All right, let's take a look at the headlines of today. So if you get your ticker set up, I'm most excited about FireEye short. So consider that while you're doing your own due diligence, while I'm talking about the market and the futures, which you should see right now. Refresh those for you real quick. NASDAQ barely in the red. Everything else is in the green across the board there. Take a look at Europe in the green across the board. That's nice. Asia, China's down a percent. Everything else is above board there. Here's our numbers from yesterday. Overall, nice leaking numbers up. We don't talk about the Russell 2000 much, but remember that's your small caps out there. So small caps kind of coming back even more. So you will see sometimes with markets, you'll see the big caps, the Teslas, the Apples, the Amazons leading higher. And then all the companies that nobody's ever heard of get drug higher by that from the ETFs that they're all in together, right? So you have your workhorse, you have your thoroughbreds in the market, then you have the kind of catch up of the rest. There's times where I will hop into the Russell 2K, which is the IWM is the ticker, if they're undervalued and haven't caught up yet, to try to catch that wave. But as a long-term hold, that's more of an allocation thing. Like in a 401k, you might have some money set aside for a 5-10% into small caps. All right, let's take a look at the bonds. Not too much movement in the bond world. Oil back in the green after some red there, so I like that. Let's see, not much going on in the precious metals, and then Bitcoin 18.5. So again, I promise you some Bitcoin stuff. That's probably going to be Friday because I want to cover penny stocks tomorrow. Okay, let's take a look at the headlines out there. Okay, we're talking S&P over 3,700. Let's see. Here's our newest billionaire, Tony Zhu, if I'm saying that correctly, for the DoorDash IPO. Mortgage rates continuing to go down even lower. So expect that again, they're going to continue to sell off or to get lower there. You almost can't get lower, it seems. Kind of impressive. All right. There's $102 a share for the DoorDash IPO. We'll get into that here in a second. Lowe's, I like Home Depot better, but Lowe's is a fine place to have some money too. Under the work from home, everybody takes care of their home. And home prices, with mortgage rates going down, home prices, that allows them to naturally go up anyway because you can afford more house with your mortgage. Plus the work from home, meaning we're spending more time around our house, which means we're also available to do more projects around the house. There's just so many things that are going to take the home building space higher. Also, we don't really talk about too much, but natural disasters happen a lot. And when they do, there's mass destruction, and these folks are there to provide all the materials you need to get back on board. All right, new Defense Secretary coming in, General Lloyd Austin. I've seen him in person, never met him. I saw him at the KAOC back when I believe he was the ground force commander in Iraq, and he did a visit. Let's see. IPOs versus SPACs. I had a question from Berner before a lot of folks were on this morning. DoorDash is an IPO. Remember, SPAC has kind of been what has been the most popular lately, but this is a true IPO, and so is the Airbnb. Whether that's later today or tomorrow, that'll be a true IPO. I just caught my eye. Progress on German factory floor slowed by sleeping snakes. Well, there you go. That's kind of funny. All right. So let's see what we have here. All right. We have for our topic of the day again is the DoorDash. So we'll take a look at the primary competitor is Grubhub, if you will. So when you think, here's back in the March lows as far as the where everything was down, but then you have the, okay, we're in the lockdown. So we were at a, 30 there, went up to around 85. So, decent, almost triple there, and then kind of sold off. And this is really when we started talking about DoorDash IPOing, and that's where these funds are coming from. If you believe in this space, then funds have to come from somewhere, and you're not selling Apple to buy, DoorDash, right? So you're selling a similar like theme. So that's where you will see a good name actually get hit. So when you look at Grubhub, you see that they're not profitable right now, and they are supposed to be profitable next quarter. But you would think that's about right. Go all in when the work from home environment, lockdown goes in. So, build your business out, build your business out, build your business out, and then go ahead and, then focus on becoming profitable. So let's talk about the theme real quick while we have, let's switch over to the Schwab viewers to show you some other names out there. Then I'll tell you about the thesis here. So you have Grubhub in the upper left, you have Waiter, which is over here. HelloFresh is another name that's into the delivery. DoorDash, this will start popping up. IPOs generally start trade somewhere around noon Eastern. So kind of smack dab in the middle of the day. So there's plenty of time to get set up so the opening is correct. And then secondarily, the secondary market has enough time to find some price points there. So if you're not doing anything today, you can sit and watch the DoorDash IPO. I'll have it up on the screen all day long and be watching it flop around. All right, Uber is down here again. That's Uber Eats that is part of this. That's the play. So it's, that's not obviously the main part of Uber, but similar philosophy, and then online, which we talked about in the open as being a way to hold all of it, as well as some e-retail space. So do you want to have your money behind this sort of thesis? Well, it kind of depends on what you think the future is going to look like. If you think, so right now we have the coronavirus is at an all-time high for the cases, and we also have the first vaccine was administered yesterday, and it's going to be hitting the US here in a few weeks, and it really depends. So if you roll out to 6 months from now, or let's just call it July 4th, right, of next year, what does the world look like? Is everybody out and about? Did people return to work? Are restaurants again slammed because all the restrictions are off? Well, if you think that that's the case, then I would not touch the IPO here. I do think, and that's really my take, is I'm not interested in it. Now, if you were going to trade it, sure, you can grab it and trade it long, because there's, IPOs do tend to follow a pattern. So you and about 100,000 other people out there are going to be trading this, which will have fun with that. But overall, for the thesis, I think that once the coronavirus, we start defeating it, I think, especially here in America, we're going to want to get out and about and actually go have the restaurant experience, and it will be kind of pent up demand. So I think a lot of these things will fall, the Grubhub, DoorDash will get hit pretty hard because they won't be able to meet their expectations because people want to go out and socialize again. Okay, that's my thesis. So I would not touch any of these names. If you're going to touch a name, I would touch, I would buy into Uber. But I still am more scared that Tesla is actually going to move into the robo taxi space and invalidate Uber. So I really wouldn't touch Uber either. But however, if the other side of that thesis, so always know, I could be wrong, right? If you take the other side of the thesis, is that when the coronavirus is mitigated or defeated or on its way out, is that people are going to stay home anyway. That we've learned that our new lives are now more home-based than they are, social circle-based. And if that's the case, or we all buy into the convenience of it's nice for, Chewy's or, Pizza Mart or whoever to show up with a bag at your door and somebody hands you your food. That's pretty cool too. So if you think this is really the new normal and that people are going to pay, basically a premium to have food brought to our house, then yeah, these names have a lot more to run if that's the case. So again, nobody's got a crystal ball in the future, but those are things you need to think about before you commit money to, the new hot, sexy IPO of the day, which is DoorDash, right? Another thing that Kramer brought up is they already have 50% market share. So, with stocks that if they're going to grow, they need to increase market share. Well, if you have something that's already at 50% market share, I mean, what am I, literally, if they wiped out their competition, there's only 50% left, so they really can't, sometimes they're already big enough to where it's hard to move higher. So I wouldn't touch this thing. I don't think it flops. I think it'll come out. People will buy it. I think the retail folks that use DoorDash will want to have the stock. So I could see the retail army of the Robin Hood gang buying this thing hand over fist. So it opens at 102. I don't know. Maybe we see 120 today. But I think long term, if you look 6 to 9 months out, we're going to see it lower than the IPO price right now. So that's my take on it. All right, let's switch hats over to the some day trading sort of stuff. We're going to look at FireEye first. So, it'd be like your advisor declaring bankruptcy, or your personal trainer going and enrolling in Weight Watchers, right? If you're a cybersecurity firm, pretty much the number one thing you can't have happen on your watch is getting hacked, and they did. So 1552. So here's where the stock closed previously. It's been kind of sideways for what's this, couple 3 weeks, down at 1419. So it's down here already. I think it's got more room to go lower. Plenty of shares for us to trade. Top true negative headline. It said it was by another nation state, so I don't know what country's behind it. If it's known, you can pop it in the chat. I don't have time to look it up there, but plenty of room to drop. Now I like FireEye as a long-term investment, but you can't handle a news cycle like this. Other shorts out there, GameStop's kind of gone too far, but they officially rolled over yesterday, basically closing all their stores. Where's their headline? Drops as Q3 revenue. They're going to go away. They're basically invalidated by online. So this is a stock that could literally go to zero. It was at 17 up here. It's down at 14.10 now. Literally, that can go. I don't like it when they've gone down more than 10%, but we'll keep this up. This thing could easily move. Excuse me, another 20% down. All right, our last one on the short side is PDLI. Don't know if my voice is going to make it. Biopharma, it's not really moving down and not enough volume to worry about. So scratch PDLI off your list. All right, Sorrento is our long. So if you like taking longs or you're in a retirement account, this is what you can take a look at here. FDA announcement of its application for a bunch of stuff. So 790 up to 875. It's at new highs, but it does have more room to run. And then VLDR has some announcement that it's not popping up here, but LiDAR. Oh, it's a secondary with Luminar, which has obviously been printing money up like 40-50% in the past couple of days. So light detection and ranging technology. So pretty good thesis there to get behind if you're not in on laser, which not many people are, which is Luminar. Okay, got about a minute to go here before the open. So I switched over to the trading screen for today. Get this set up. Okay, we have on the left, we have our SPY. Again, things are trending up on the day. SRNE, we have it here. We'll set up. There's the arrow already pre-drawn. So 876, you're looking at about a 10-cent stop here on this one. About 25-cent stop here on VLDR going north. And then FireEye, probably about a 15-cent stop, maybe 20-cent stop because it might flop around over here. So really optimistic about this FireEye short. Okay. We get my ticker set up real quick. All right, welcome everyone to the On Time On Target play of the day. We have 4 screens in front of you. On the far left is the SPY, that's the S&P 500 on a 1-minute chart. We have 2 longs, Sorrento, middle left, and VLDR, middle right. And then we have a short in FireEye, which FireEye was the one that got hacked. There's our opening bell. FireEye was the one that got hacked, so let's think about taking that pretty quick here. Once it hits 13.9 is where I'm going to take it. Actually, let's go 14, take it at 14 with a 30-cent stop, a little bigger stop than I wanted. Okay, we're going to chase this up 14.10 with a 20-cent stop. There, I took it. So 14.10 is your entry point, 20 cents is your stop up here at 14.30. So I need to pause and make sure I have that stop in. Okay, the stop is in. So as far as our first R is going to be down here at 13.9. Next R is at 13.7. And then our exit point's down here at 13.5. So be ready to go on that. All right, very happy with that trade. To get that pencil out of here, get this zoomed in so you can see where we are. So you don't miss the exit point. You need to zoom out a little bit because of where we have everything drawn. Okay, so VLDR screaming higher. Sorrento, see the market's in the red here, a couple minutes down to the red. And then we have our trade up here, basically right at the entry point. I'm okay with you taking more right here. Again, if it blows through the high of the day, which is 14.24, you're going to be out of it anyway. I'm also liking this Sorrento as well. Let's look at Sorrento with a. I need to wait for it for a second. We got to see what the market's doing here. See if it'll bring Sorrento down for us a little bit. So we're in the trade off to the right with FireEye. That's short. It's working against us right now, but be patient. Looking at Sorrento for an entry here. It's coming back down. This will be long. Looking at, let's take it 890 long. There, just hit it. All right, 890 long with a 25-cent stop down here to 865. So pretty healthy stop there. So the first one would be up to 915 as far as our long target. So that'll be our 1R. So in two trades here, that one's starting to go against us just a little bit, but I'm not too worried about it. Again, 865 is your exit point on Sorrento if you need to get out all of a sudden. Do a little housekeeping on my tickers over here. Give me a second. And there we go, all set up. All right, let's check back to our trades here. Again, this one is working. We're almost at the 1R point. We took it at 14.10. I expect that to continue to sell. Excuse me, we're at the 2R point. Nope, last one didn't take, so 13.50. That's the 3R point. So that's what we have there. So that's working for us. Let's see, SRNE is working against us. So 865. If it's 865, you got to be out. So right now we're down a little bit in that trade. So getting pretty close on Sorrento. There it is. So go ahead and get out of the Sorrento trade. This one worked against us. So we get the big red X of shame on that one, and -1R here. And this one we're up an R, so basically even on the day, and I'm a lot more optimistic about this one going to the downside. All right, let's take a look around a little bit. As far as the markets, let's see, NASDAQ is in the red. The Dow and S&P are still in the green a little bit. We'll get rid of VLDR and take a look at some of the other long names we had out there. DMYD. So long on the middle pane. Ooh, that one would have worked nicely. It had gapped up. Let's see, it's only about a 20% move there. So maybe a 1R trade or so, not really enough to make a full 3R there. Some other long names. BFT is that Foley technology that's been on fire. That's PFT. Need to go BFT. So not much. I mean, it's up 4.6%. Let's see what else we have. DBI was up 6% pre-market. Whoa, that rolled over. Don't touch that. HCHC was up 5%. So that one moved up pretty higher. So pretty nice entry point, comes in here, sells off. Maybe you take it somewhere in here, 373 or so. Not a bad move, 9 cents. So that's pretty tight stop there, but it's low traded. Let's see, what else do we have on the downside? We're going to look at GameStop. So GameStop's kind of the train wreck. So nice entry here, though. Backed all the way up to 14.10. You're probably taking it around 14 with a 20-cent stop. So 1, 2, 3. It's down almost 4R. So pretty entry there. It's tough to, we're out of our window of that normal 5 to 10% that I like. But it's certainly the theme of closing your stores and getting rid of your, lowering your guidance is a good one for the downside. All right, STM also was a short. I think that's an electronics firm. Yep. Down 10%, but they really haven't moved a whole lot. That's only a 20-cent move there. It looks more than it actually is. Let's see, PDLI was getting delisted. So let's take a look at how that delisted off of the exchange. It'll go over the counter, so it'll pick up a 5th letter. All right, and then the last one was BE, took a downgrade. Bloom Energy Company, I haven't heard of them. They took a downgrade to a sell. So here's your open point. Yeah, it hasn't gone down a whole lot, but it's probably not going back up either. I don't know who's buying it after they get a sell. So, all right. So to recap on our trades, we busted out of Sorrento Therapeutics. Long, we're still alive. We took it at 14.10. We're down. We're basically up over an R, and again, the exit point's all the way down to 13.50. So let that continue to cook for you. All right, let's look around. Switching back to long-term investing. Tomorrow, this is a penny stock we'll take a look at. It's a psychedelic. Again, we'll get into that stuff tomorrow. AV beat earnings the other day. That's a drone company that I happen to like. I have some of it. I don't have a whole lot. Here's another psychedelic name, psychedelic. There's our lows that we talked about, had a positive headline in the news today. Luckin on its way back up. It should be above $4. Let's check that. LKNCY. It's another name that we're going to talk about. So yeah, all the way up to 415 after being down at 3.6, day before last. So it's getting some life back. MongoDB, that's a tech firm. Disney getting some love. Airlines, I see Delta here. If you're a trader, if you want to do some swing trading where you hold stuff for a couple weeks, you can buy the airlines, cruise lines, movie theaters, all that stuff now, and then basically hold it until the vaccine does its thing, right? So you might be holding it for months. It's not where I'm going to put money, but just realize you could out there. All right, let's get the SPY back here. We'll take a look at what's in the red for the day. FireEye is at 11%. I think we need 13% for us to be out of our trade, so it's not quite there. There's the laser. This is the Luminar that I was talking about that's been on fire. It's made this huge move up. Let's take a look at it. Back over here at 19 all the way up to 47. So it looks like a boring chart, but when you look at this, this is what, 2.5 times increase. Yeah, so huge move up. It's just coming in. I would like to get some more of this. I don't have a whole lot, maybe down in the 35 range. We'll see. It looks like there's some congestions here at 37. So I don't know, we need for it to sell off more before I load up. BioNTech's in the red on the day. Again, that's a bio name. They're the ones partnered with Pfizer for Operation Lightspeed. PLTR down on the day. They've been on fire as well. Okay, let's take a look at the penny stocks, and then I'll let you go for today. Again, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Penny stock definition sharing out now. Okay, so what is a penny stock? Basically, it's any stock. You would think by definition or by the name, it would be stocks that go below, in the pennies, below $1. It's not. It's below $5. And there's an interesting line here, is that Mutual funds generally have it in their charter that they cannot hold stocks below $5. So there becomes this inflection point. You've heard me talk about it with our trading, where the stocks that hit $5 on the way up tend to get bought. Stocks that hit $5 on the way down tend to sell off even more, just because of that rule, right? So you have fund managers out there that they have so many days, they don't have to sell it like instantly, but they have a time frame where they have to, they can buy it instantly, but if they have to sell it, they have to move out of it in a certain number of days. And I don't know exactly what that is, but penny stocks, if you ever get these things in the mail, they made 10,000% on my last trade. This penny stock is set to, put $1,000 in it and retire a millionaire in a week from now. All that newsletter bullcrap that you get. First of all, none of them have licenses. So if you're listening to them, that's on you. That's kind of like hopping on board Delta Airlines and looking up front and saying the guy up front's talking a big game, but you're like, do you have like a pilot's license? And they're like, oh no, man, but I'm good. I know everything about all this. I got it. So that's kind of what you do. You would never do that with your life, right? Hopefully. But that's what you're doing with your money. And you know what? These guys get right. They get lucky often enough, or they're right. And, they're smart people. They've got a good business model. And I don't begrudge the newsletter people their thing. But, you subscribe to these things and you get put on auto payment. You forget you have it and, blah, blah, blah. So you pay forever for what I would call not that useful information. But that's what generally these newsletters are filled with, these penny stocks, or they'll give you a penny stock teaser, right? It's like buy Home Depot, but that's boring. So also buy, Clickstream, because that's below 2 cents and it's poised to scream higher. Okay. You certainly can, your downside risk because the stock can't go below zero. But, at your own risk, right? So they're all over the counter, or most of them are over the counter, or will get delisted over the counter if they get low enough. So let's see, below $5 a share. Over the counter, we talked about sizable gains, equal size losses. They get traded a lot because you can set an algorithm to, over a penny, right? Buy it at this penny and sell it at this penny. So that's, you can program a computer to do that for you. And then you can, scalp money out of the market that way. That's part of the Flash Boys that Michael Lewis wrote about. It's actually good for the market. People think it's like a leech, but the whale doesn't care about all the things feeding, all the little fish feeding off it, right? It literally does not care. So it's kind of that way with the market. It adds liquidity with all these traders. So when you go to sell your position, you can get out of it at a fairly efficient price point, but it can move stocks unfairly, if you will. But it could also work for you as well. So, all right, lack of information available to the public. A lot of times you can't find anything. So, all right, minimum standards, all that stuff you should think about. Also, if you buy a stock for 2 cents and it goes down a penny, then obviously you're down 50%, right? A lot of these, I don't know about Robinhood. If you do, if you're one of the team Robinhood, put it in the chat. If you can buy fractional shares or fractional pennies, like Clickstream is often like 0.01842 cents a share. And obviously, if it moves a fraction of a cent, that's a 8% gain. So it does trade out to the past the 2 decimal point that normally a penny would be 0.01 cents. Well, it carries 2 or 3 more decimals to the right of that, so you can really get in there and have some price efficiency. So, all right, that's already. And I see pump and dump here. This is very popular in the pump and dump world because if you take a stock from 1 penny to 8 cents. That's when everybody hops in and buys it at the 8 cent point. And that's when the pros are now selling it because they talked a big game, moved the stock off of zero and sold it, and then crashes back down. So, all right, that's all I have for you today. Let's check on our trade real quick and I'll tell you how to handle it for the rest of the day. All right, it's almost back to where we were at the entry point. And the market's starting to show up in the green. NASDAQ's in the green. I don't see any reason to kill this trade. I think 1430 is safe. So you could even take more here, to be honest. That'd be aggressive. Don't do that just because I, made an off the hand comment. But a professional trader watching this pattern, you've got this nice 5 green bars up, would probably add here to to the situation, meaning short some more for it to go down. So anyhow, that's where we are with the trade. And thank you so much for listening in. We will catch you guys back tomorrow.